Welcome everyone to the Go Battle League Spotlight. This is gonna be the new series that I'm doing, and today I am going to feature you Alolan Raichu with Full Switch, Grass Knot, and Thunder Punch. So I have been experimenting with this team quite a bit for like about 10 matches, and I am going to bring you my results on that. This is gonna be a 5 set battle. And usually I tend to lead with Alolan Raichu, and here I get an Alolan Raichu lead, and we both charge up to a Grass Knot, and I shield. This could be a bait, and it is a bait, and I go for straight Grass Knot. I should have gone for the bait here, and he shields again, so I am at a disadvantage now. This Grass Knot will one-shot me, so I shield twice, and then I go for a Grass Knot. Although at a disadvantage, I take the lead, the switch advantage. And he switches to shift tree. And I go for Thunder Punch. I do not want to switch lock myself, so I am letting this Raichu go. He does have quite a bit of energy. Now my Skarmory isn't unlocked yet because this isn't. It's not a good Skarmory. It has terrible IVs, so I am waiting for a better Skarmory. And he switches to Registeel, and I switch to my Azumarill. I am running Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. Although with PV Poke it suggests you run the Play Rough and the Hydro Pump set, but I personally prefer the Ice Beam for the occasional grasses I face. Now this team is weak to grasses, and Azumarill is like a soft. It's a soft matchup versus Registeel, and Alochu does win, but it's like it wins with like red HP against Registeel. And here I go for a Skydeck, and his Registeel goes down. I don't know why he didn't shield that, and he goes for a foul play, and I just barely leave that, and I Skydeck him down with 1 HP. So he lost because he didn't decide. I don't know why he kept his shields. So my point is this team is really weak to grasses, so you usually need to win the lead. And that's why I double shielded in my first matchup. And if you don't win the lead, it's gonna be tough if your opponent has a grass, because both Azumarill and Alochu are weak to grasses. Azumarill with energy can beat if it lands the Ice Beam, but versus Meganium teams will give you problems. And again, match number 2, I face an Alochu. This time I shield. Again, I'm shielding the first one. He goes for a bait. Now this time I go for the bait, and he shields. Now I get off the grass knot because I think my Alolan Raichu probably has more attack IVs than his. That's why I probably get the CMP. And he switches again. He switches to Meganium. So because I won the lead, my Skarmory isn't switch locked yet. So now his Meganium will be switch locked with my Skarmory. Now this is the power of this team. You switch lock your opponent's grasses, and then you can beat them with Alolan Raichu or Azumarill. And as a lead, Alolan Raichu is fantastic versus Skarmory, versus Azumarill, versus Registeel. It wins, but Swampert does give it some trouble, and I I have been facing Swamperts quite a bit recently, and surprisingly Haunter lead. I am going to do a video on that later. So here I go for a Hydro Pump, and he shields, so not looking great for me. Now I shield this. It's gonna be a Flash Cannon. Now Hydro Pump is going to do a lot of damage to Registeel, and he decides to switch this, and my Skarmory has he decides to go for Earthquake. Now nothing of Meganium will KO Skarmory. It is like a wall to Meganium. Now I decided to go for Skarmory instead of Altaria because I have, you guys know that Go Battle League is filled with Azumarill. Now this Flash Cannon is not going to KO Skarmory, and again I win with 1 HP. Again, what I was saying was I decided to go for Skarmory instead of Altaria because I've been facing a lot of Azumarills, and Skarmory does, I'm not saying it wins a lot, but versus Azumarill it can do something. Even with energy it can beat Azumarill, but Altaria is just gets walled by uh, Azumarill. So that's why I decided to go for Skarmory. I am going to unlock my Skarmory, but not this Skarmory. I have another better spread Skarmory left. I will unlock that. This was my very first Skarmory I ever made, and this was back during Boulder Cup. So that's why it doesn't have the optimal IV set. And again, if I had Altaria here, my Altaria would take so much damage from the opposing Altaria. But with Skarmory, it's soft. It's not like a neutral matchup. The one with energy wins or the one with more bulk wins. With Skarmory, you can win against Altaria fresh. But his Altaria did have a lot of energy. So I let my Skarmory go on purpose to farm energy on my Alochu. I did get one volt switch off of that. And he has Medicham in the back. For Medicham, you go straight Thunder Punch. Grass Knot is neutral, but Thunder Punch has stab. Now I switch to Azumarill, and he switches to Ludicolo. That's some spice. This is the first Ludicolo I have seen and I've ever seen in Go Battle League, and I am totally not ready for that. So this is what I was trying to say. When your Skarmory is down, your opponent can sweep with grasses because both Alucho and Azumarill loses against grasses. So this team does struggle a bit versus grasses, but it doesn't matter because here he will get to an ice punch. So here what I should have done is I should have switched to Azumarill on his Altaria. So that way he would have came back with his Ludicolo, and I would have switched out that Ludicolo with my Skarmory and have Alolan Raichu in the back. And again, this time I face an Umbreon lead. Now I did face some Umbreons, but not that common. He switches to Registeel. Now this is good for me because I will switch to my Alolan Raichu now. I want to let my Skarmory go. And versus Skarmory, Focus Blast is better, but he decides to go for Flash Cannon here. Now I'm just going for chip damage, and I'm surprised that his Registeel is down to half health. And again he goes for a Flash Cannon, and I will get to another Sky Attack. Now lock-ons aren't doing any damage to Skarmory, they are doing so little damage. Now here I decide to switch to my Azumarill to farm some energy, and he switches to his Umbreon. So now I am thinking that he probably has a Mon that is weak to Azumarill. That's why he switched to his Umbreon instead of that Mon. I think he probably has Altaria in the back. So I go for Hydro Pump here. That's a mistake. I should have tried to bait because he had two shields. And now I will try to bait because I know that he is shielding his Umbreon. So that means Probably Altaria or any mon that is weak to Azumarill in the back. So from now on, I will try to shield my Azumarill more. So it's down on shields. Now he does have Altaria in the back and he switches to Altaria. I don't know why. I go for straight Ice Beam and I switch to my Alolan Raichu. Now Alolan Raichu does resist flying, so it does about what a quarter health. And now I am going to Volt Switch down his Altaria. I have a bit of energy, and he comes back with his Umbreon. Now this Thunder Punch isn't going to KO. Yeah, it's not going to KO. That does nothing. Again, my Alolan Raichu goes down. Now he has Registeel and Umbreon. So here, this is Ice Beam KO range, so I will go for Ice Beam. I don't need to land the Hydro Pump. Now he switches to his Registeel and I shield. I've been waiting for this. I think he tried to catch my Ice Beam on Azumarill, but I think he miscounted. I didn't have enough energy for an Ice Beam. And now I'm going to go for straight Ice Beam, KO. I I I tried a Mud Boy with Alolan Raichu, but that team is more weak to grass, so I decided to stick with the Azumarill. And this time I catch the Bronzong lead. Now I do need to be wary of Bulldoze. Bulldoze will one-shot Alochu, and it's 5 confusions to Bulldoze. So that's 4, that's 5. He is at a Bulldoze, but I won CMP. So this is the power of Alolan Raichu because of its attack stat. It usually wins CMP versus the more bulkier mounts in Open Great League. And usually it wins CMP against Registeel, which lets it win in a fresh fight. Azumarill, Skarmory, anything, it has more attack stat. Now he does come back to his Venusaur. I go for a Thunder Punch again. I do not want to lose switch advantage, so I sack my Alolan Raichu here, and I come back with my Skarmory, and he switches to his own Azumarill, and I do to mine. Now, if this is a player of set, my Azumarill is going to lose. Let's see. Now he goes for Ice Beam. He tried to bait, and I didn't fall for it. I go for straight Hydro Pump. Now versus Azumarill, if you are running the player off set, you either go for player off, or if you're running Hydro Pump, you go for Hydro Pump. Never go for Ice Beam on Azumarill. Ice Beam is a bad move. And I am running Ice Beam again because of the threat to grasses. With player off, I'm just a sitting duck, but with Ice Beam, I can threaten a lot of grasses like Venusaur, like Tropius. And this time I decide to shield and I fall for the bait. Now I don't know why he switches to his Venusaur. I think he probably tried to catch my Hydro Pump here, but I don't fall for it and I go for Ice Beam and I KO his Venusaur. Now I don't care if my Azumarill goes down. I have what, two? Yeah, I had two air slashes. Now this Sky Attack is going to KO Azumarill. So this was my Alolan Raichu spotlight. I am going to try out different combinations with Alolan Raichu in the future, and I will try out more teams. If you want to see a specific team, comment down below. And this was it. This is Bhuvan Ahmed signing out.